Hi, and welcome to the Facial Recognition Podcast. I'm KT Tatara.
I'm Fizza Dasani.
I'm Pallavi Ganalan.
I'm Zara Ali.
That was excellent.
Is that good?
Yeah.
I practiced.
Did you? Well,
did.
I hate to be that critical parent
We're gonna do it.
figure, but you did drop comedy. But
Oh, I said Facial Recognition Podcast?
I've done that many times.
It's okay.
You know what?
It's
I
very
heard someone
common.
else do it.
You're
You
not
know what?
alone. It's fine.
Oh yeah, so it's
I'm gonna
it's
blame-
not unprecedented.
I'm going to blame that I did too much homework on this. I watched the other podcasts. I was like, I got it. And then I
What,
made the same mistake they did.
What pitfalls did you see in the other podcasts that you're
No,
gonna
just that
avoid?
intro. I only watched the intros of all of them. And then
yeah,
you
messed
just
up.
wanted to be ready for your big part.
Can I do it again?
yeah, absolutely. And we can keep all of this in there as
All
well.
right. Hey, what's up? And welcome to the Facial Recognition Comedy Podcast. I'm KT Tatara.
And I'm Fizza Dasani.
I'm Pallavi Ganalan.
And I'm Zara Ali.
That was good.
That
That,
worked.
felt good.
You did
Yeah.
it. Yay.
Yay.
No one even knows I messed up the first time.
You are
Right?
a pro. You're a pro.
Thank you.
Well, thank you for being here. I know I asked you literally 2 days ago.
I know. We just met. Did we meet before, though?
I think we had met before, but it was, a few years ago. And you know that thing that happens, like you meet comics in passing
Okay.
and then you don't see them again? Like it takes me like 4 or 5 meetings of a comic to like remember
Yeah.
that I actually know this comedian.
Just a comic or anybody?
At this point, I think it's anybody now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking it was actually like an ironic facial recognition thing. Like you actually met PK from the Laugh Factory and you thought it was me. And you're like, oh, yeah, we met before KT.
No,
it
it
wasn't me.
So I've actually been friends with PK for a while.
Okay, so it definitely wasn't that.
I'm friends with most of the Asian comedians. Maybe there's like a handful that I don't know as well. You're one of them, so
Okay.
I'm like, all right.
Yeah, that was
one
like
day.
the first show we did.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
What,
good.
what does
We-
KT stand for?
Uh-oh.
Yeah, what does KT stand for? We
I
can
don't
get-
know. It's like a weird Japanese thing. I don't find out till I'm 40. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no, I'm just kidding.
I was so excited.
I know,
I was like,
right?
who's gonna tell you?
I started saying that because people get more excited when I say that. It's like a
Yeah.
good
Yeah,
thing.
just make up traditions.
It stands for my full name, Kenichi Tatara. But I've gone by KT since I was a little kid. Actually, if you guys want to know the story, I don't think I've told this on a podcast before, so you get some secret information. Before I was born, my parents didn't want to be like, the baby this, the baby that. You know how everyone, they thought that was annoying. You know how everyone's like, oh, like the baby, the baby. They were like, let's give the baby a name. It's a person. It's a future adult. We got to think of them as like, a person, not just a baby. They're not going to be a baby forever, right?
Yeah.
So my parents decided, they were going to name me something with a K as my first name, no matter what, boy, girl, whatever. And so they were just like, okay, the nickname is KT. And they had names picked out, whatever. Either way, I think I came out of a guy, although that is questionable with my pretty cheekbones. But like, they
You do have excellent cheekbones.
Thank you.
and very smooth skin.
Thank you. I didn't do anything. Everyone's like, "What's your regimen?" I'm like, "Nothing." I
You're
don't.
Japanese.
Yeah, I know. I'm half Japanese. I don't know. But yeah. So they said KT. So then they referred to me literally before I was born. Oh, we got to get a crib for KT. KT's coming. And then after I was born, it stuck as like a household nickname. And so everyone's like, "Oh, did you make it up as a stage name, or you didn't like your Japanese name?" I was like, "No, my parents called
Your
me."
parents
that,
didn't like your
Yeah.
Japanese name.
Yeah.
That was your name before you even knew like
Names.
who you were.
Yeah,
you know?
anything.
Did they treat you like an adult in other ways? They're like, get a job, KT, you're 8.
Yeah,
Get
exactly,
on.
yeah. Like 3 years old. This is how you do your taxes. My parents were very diligent on all that stuff. No, I don't know. I mean, it was weird. I guess as a kid, also when you go to kindergarten, it's easier to just say KT when, you guys know if you have like an ethnic name or whatever.
It's a great
Yeah.
nickname. It's
Is it?
catchy. KT Tatara. That's very
it
catchy.
sounds like
All
it.
that
Yeah.
alliteration
KT
in there.
Tatara.
That's.
It trips people up sometimes, though. They go KT Tatara.
But in the best way possible.
Yeah.
Like you just want to get it right.
That's true. It makes you think about it more. All right.
You're like ta-ta-ra, ta-ta.
So you never
like a
thought of a stage
game.
name or anything? Like when you were
don't
first
know.
starting out at comedy,
No.
you didn't go by some other moniker or
No,
something?
never. Yeah, no, I never even thought. I almost recently started thinking of that because then I was like, maybe, like when you see KT, like people don't know what that is. Is that a guy? Is that a girl? Like
That might be good.
I guess so.
Then there's like no expectations.
Yeah. I guess it's just an initial, I think people never heard before, or it's
Yeah.
rare
I
compared to like
actually-
JR or something, you know?
I actually did. In my head, I think I thought you were a girl.
See? No, it's
When
happened all the
I
time.
came to the podcast.
People see even my headshot
Katie.
and they think I'm
Yeah.
a girl.
Katie, KT.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
so-
girls named Katie go by KT. So it's
Yeah.
like you see that name, you think that, and then you see a pretty picture. I photograph like too pretty sometimes. It's
Okay.
He has like a natural
right.
filter.
No, it's like I hate
Pretty
it.
boy.
Because I look like super young and like, hi, how's it going? And like, it's not, it doesn't
Yeah,
convey
there's
like
a-
my personality. you
There's
know?
a newer Instagram filter. It's called Paris, which smooths out your
I
face and
love
everything.
I
It's
was just
amazing.
gonna
Paris.
say, Fizza is all over that.
Paris, man, it's subtle.
But his face is like real life Paris filter. Like it's like what did you do? What is your regiment, man?
I
Like
don't
what
do
do you do?
I
Rub
should start a
dirt on
regimen
it.
so I can make some money selling a regimen because
really
people
should.
ask me that
If
all
you
the
do
time.
like YouTube videos, just like
Yeah, yeah,
doing
yeah.
nothing and like this is how I do my like you'd make
Just
so
like,
much.
He's like putting up shelves. He's like doing
just
daily
making
chores.
up stuff. Yeah,
Yeah, 'cause that's
this
what
is
you
how you
do,
get
right?
good skin,
I
guys.
guess I
living your
gotta go to IKEA or something.
I feel like you could be 60 years old and we're just like kind of like,
Yeah.
wow, what does he do?
I'm 39. I'm almost 40. So.
No, you're not.
Yeah.
See, I knew that actually.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
we
you knew
met
that.
we met years ago in Dallas,
In Dallas,
and I
yeah.
had a broken
you hurt your foot. I remember that. Yeah.
What?
You're on
Yeah.
crutches
I
and stuff.
remember
Hurting
the broken
yourself?
foot.
Well, I had a broken foot. I did stand up 3 times that night, and
No,
then
you
like,
heard it there, right? I think.
No, I heard it before.
Okay,
In
okay.
between like the stand up NBC and then and my shows that night, I broke my foot. But yeah, I did like shows, and then like I ended up flying back to LA, went to like an audition, and then went straight to an urgent care place, and they're like, "Your foot's really broken. You can't walk in this for 2 months."
Ooh.
Whoa.
And I felt, and then I
you
got
were
like,
hobbling around and stuff.
yeah, well, I didn't have crutches in Dallas, so I
Yeah.
was hobbling around like on my aunt's cane and stuff. So like, and it was stand up
That's how
NBC,
I
so
met
like
her.
You
a
met her
ton of
when she-
comics were there, and I was
Yeah.
just like, I don't know, I felt like Dave Grohl. Like I was like, yeah, fuck this, you know, I'm gonna go up anyway.
Oh, when he broke his like leg or whatever.
Yeah.
You met her at her weakest.
Yeah. No, I was like, oh, she really loves comedy. She's like, I'm gonna go do this set. I was like, dang, I wouldn't be doing that. That's crazy.
It was so dumb how I broke it.
How'd you break it? I feel like you
Um,
set me up.
well-
How'd you break your foot?
There was like a big. I took a nap in my aunt's place. That's where I was crashing, and there was a big gap between the footboard and the base of the bed. But it was
Right.
covered by like a down comforter, like the most fluffiest down comforter. So I just stepped on it because I was trying to fix the fan, and
Oh,
like
no.
And just slipped through.
yeah, I slipped through. I fell. Face forward because of gravity, and my foot got caught because it's long as shit, and it snapped. And I heard the
Oh.
snap.
You heard the snap?
Yeah, and it ended up being my 5th metatarsal, which if you look at your hand, the back side of your hand, it's not the pinky, but it's the bone on the hand that connects to the pinky. So it's
Yeah.
that equivalent on the foot.
It's like in the
Yeah.
meat of the foot.
Yeah.
Yeesh.
The meat of the foot,
In
yeah.
The, in the meat.
Well, I mean, you don't really need your pinky toe, right? Like, isn't that what evolution
Well, it
that's
wasn't
is
the
saying? You
pinky
don't-
toe, it was the foot.
It's that,
Oh.
that
Yeah.
shit's
foot that
painful.
connects to the pinky. Okay,
Yeah.
got it. Yeesh.
Anyways, how'd that audition go?
Did you nail it?
They actually were running super late and it pissed me off. So, you know how you're not supposed to sign out of auditions because then they have to pay you if they're running late?
Oh.
Yeah.
Really?
So, well, you can, but like if they're being shady, then they might like blacklist you or
Oh,
whatever. I've
okay.
never gone back to that casting office again because they were like, I had a broken foot. I was there for like an hour and a half, 2 hours, and
Wow.
I wanted to make urgent care, which I did, just barely.
It's really bad when your audition takes longer than urgent care would.
yeah, seriously.
Yeah, right.
Oh, and
Yeah.
that urgent
Like the
care
DMV.
doctor,
Yeah.
he has the worst bedside manner. And I know this because I've gone to him twice, once with someone else who broke an arm. And he was like, oh, well, God forbid it's broken. He'd always say, God forbid, God forbid. And then, of course, you get the results. And he's like, well, it's the worst thing possible. Sorry, have to
trying-
refer you to someone.
He's trying to make the cancer patients nearby feel better. He's like, oh, it's terrible. This broken foot, huh?
But like it was the exact same script when like my friend Brian came in with a broken elbow. It was just like he doesn't give you hope.
What if
like
that-
you want hope?
Yeah.
What if that was the audition and you mixed up the rooms and it's the same doctor auditioning?
Wait, did I get it? Didn't I?
I don't know.
Was my
That's
foot ever
funny.
broken?
What's the worst audition you've ever had, KT?
Ooh, the first one that came to mind, it's not the worst, but it was the most disappointing one. I had this commercial audition like years ago for like some fast food, Wendy's or something like that. And it was like, why are you laughing? Are you?
Oh, because your Wendy's McNuggets
Oh.
thing?
Is that
ruined it.
No, I know
the
the-
worst place audition?
I know.
I don't know what it was, but basically, there was a scene where a girl has to like kiss you on the cheek, like so you don't like make out anything. The scene was something like you eat and get like barbecue sauce or something on you, and then you're just supposed to be like, oh, and then some girls just like I want, she does something, and you're just kind of like the dorky guy going like, just you don't really react to her kissing you. So I'm like, oh, sweet, dude. Some hot chick's going to kiss me in this audition. And there was a girl in the room that was, like, really pretty. And I was like, oh, this is awesome. Like, this is, like, a dream come true. I'm going to get this thing. I'm going to meet this girl. And then another girl comes in, and she was cute, too, but not as...
But not as
attractive as the other girl. I mean, let's be honest, right?
But
it wasn't. But I was like, whatever. I didn't really. I didn't care. I was like, okay. So actually, I forgot. Like, this girl went in with multiple guys because she was the only girl that was there. So the guys go in,
Everyone's
and then
dreams are
they
coming
come out,
true.
and then
True.
they go, can you stay like one more thing? We got some more guys. And then she goes, okay. So I'm sitting there like, okay, I'm going to go in with this girl. And
So
then
her
at some
audition
point,
was just to kiss multiple guys on the cheek.
They were
Well,
like,
no, she-
their
they just-
cheeks were running a train on her.
Yeah, I wonder if she got it. I never got it. Yeah, she was just like going crazy. So then I think the other girl showed up. So then the casting guy came out and was like, oh, okay, there's another girl. You can go. And then the guys left and stuff. And then we were waiting for some other guy to get there because it was like 3 people. It was like me and some other guy. And, she like basically rejects the other guy to kiss me with the barbecue sauce or something was the premise. So we get to that thing. We do the scene. She says her thing. And then she like didn't want to like, she's supposed to like cheat out to the camera, So you're supposed to kind of go like this. She didn't want to, so she kind of I'm like doing all. She just goes like, oh, and kind of like fakes it and goes all the way in front and then hits her cheekbone, like on my pretty cheekbone,
And very high cheekbone.
yeah, my high cheekbones, and like just because she was like trying to fake it, like, and like did like that, but she just hits her face in my face, and I was like, oh, and then the camera can't see me, and I know I'm supposed to be doing a face, so I'm just like, oh, and then she goes to the side, and the casting director's like, okay, and so he's trying to explain it to her. He's like, yeah, I don't need you to do that. Just kind of like give him a smooch on the cheek
But
or whatever.
she's done this multiple times.
No,
this
this is the
was the
second
new girl.
This is the new
The
girl.
first hot girl
Gotcha.
Yeah.
walked in and did
Oh,
a bunch of
damn.
dance,
Yeah,
and then right
and so
before
I'm
That's
sitting there
already-
going, and you know how it is if you have a commercial audition with other people and they're messing up, you're just
Yeah.
like, I'm not getting
Well,
this.
it kind of
like,
it screws you
Yeah.
up. You're not getting that either. 'Cause,
Yeah.
Like, how are you going to showcase yourself?
Yeah, so now I'm thinking about that. I'm like, oh no. Like now she's like doing that, and then the guy is sitting there kind of getting frustrated, the other guy in the scene. So we do it like 3 times, and she wouldn't just like give me a peck on the cheek or even just get close and just kind of go, whatever. She just kept on like trying to do a fake kiss thing, and eventually the director kind of gave up and was like, okay, yeah, we got it, we're good. I was like, dude, that couldn't have gone any worse. We couldn't even get the scene right. I didn't get a kiss from the hot girl. I was just like,
How many times did you wish like bad karma upon her after that? Like how many times were you like, damn it, I
man.
missed out on Wendy's checks.
I never
You,
had
like-
a kissing in an audition thing ever come up since then. So I feel like the bad karma's on me. I was like, I should have shown up earlier or something. I would have been in with the other girl. I don't know. I mean, it wasn't her fault. I get it. She was like new and she was nervous and she didn't know. And the casting director, you know how it is. They're trying
Yeah.
to get everybody through there. So
That's
he's not going to
true.
take the time to be like,
Right,
okay.
right.
So he just said whatever and
You
then was
had
like,
this-
okay, get out of here.
You had this anticipation, so it was disappointing.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. I had in my head like, finally. And then, don't ever get anticipation for things like that, I think is what
for
I learned.
commercial auditions.
Yeah.
Or any auditions.
Really any
Any
audition.
sort of performance, probably.
Yeah. Yeah, oh yeah. If you're going on stage and you have in your head what the show is going to be like, you're going to bomb. Like it's going to
Yeah.
be the worst.
You're not present.
Yeah.
So
you're
is
not in
that
the room.
usually what you do for stand-up as well? You just go to every show with 0 expectations?
I only try to watch, I try not to have expectations on the show, but I try not to like watch too much of the show beforehand and think about it that way. Like I'll just kind of peep in, see what people are talking about. And it's a comic I know, like, oh, what are they doing? But don't get too in your head about what the audience is, because if you start watching the whole time, you're like, okay, they're kind of tight. They're kind of, no, at least me, I'll get too in my head about all that stuff. So
I like watching the one before and then like going off of that energy. 'Cause
Yeah,
sometimes
that's
the
good,
Stuff
yeah.
before that is like irrelevant.
yeah.
How do you guys deal with high stake performances? Like, how do you take the pressure off? I feel like that's a question
That's
that
a
lot
perfect
of
question
us
for him
are-
because you were on Last
Yeah.
Comic Standing, right?
was on
and
Last Comic
that's
Standing.
like high stakes. And
I was listening to a lot of jazz music then, like in the. Well, I mean, I didn't win, so I guess I don't know. I need some lessons. I was a music major in college. I used to play trombone, and so I listen to a lot of like classical music or jazz trombone music, and that kind of just relaxes me and kind of gets me in my body or whatever and grounded and stuff. So yeah, I was listening to a lot of that backstage, and sometimes before auditions or something. Like, if I know the material, it's like get away from it and just get into a zone of something else that can kind of just center you, I guess.
How do you deal with like people wanting to like engage with you while you're trying to get in your zone?
Oh, that green room energy.
Yeah, because sometimes you're trying to like
That's why headphones are good. I think you just gotta be like, oh, I'm doing a
Dude,
thing.
I do that, and then now I've had people tell me, oh, when I first met you, you had your headphones on in the green room, so I thought you were a bitch. And I'm like, oh, me like getting in the zone is being a bitch, but like if anyone else does it, it's like I never understood that. Like,
People
feel,
can say that. Yeah.
It's like I'm trying to understand. Like, all right, I don't like. At first, I cared about this reputation where people just assume that I'm not a nice person.
Does that happen to you a lot?
Oh yeah, a lot. Oh. Like people tell me this. Like anytime somebody gets to know me, they're like, oh, when I first met you, I just assumed you weren't nice. I'm like, what? You didn't even like know me? But like I get this a lot where like I listen to like a set or I'm like listening to something to like just prepare for the stage, like in the green room, and people get offended because I'm like on my headphones instead of like engaging in whatever is going on in the green room.
I used to never go to the Comedy Store without headphones.
Yeah,
just so I had an out anytime. Like I was
Yeah,
like, I need an
exactly.
escape route.
I had an issue the other night where I told someone that because I needed to study, I needed to work on something, and I told them I wanted to work on it, and they're a friend of mine, but they like kept insisting that I watch their set.
What?
And I was like, I just told you I have to focus on my stuff, and they were like, no, it's fine. No, but can you watch it though? And I was just like, and then they kept coming up and talking to me, and like I love them to death or whatever, but it's it's really hard to set those boundaries when people like want the attention.
Comics are so needy. Anyway,
Whoa,
but like, so
that would drive me
how
nuts.
do you deal with that,
No.
like green room energy?
I mean, I don't know. Maybe I give off like a standoffish thing. I mean, I think I've been told that sometimes because I'll just be usually I'm just looking at my phone, like trying to go over my set list or something like that. And so I won't be like too talkative sometimes beforehand. And I don't know. Maybe that just gives a kind of like, oh, okay, don't bother him kind of thing. But
Yeah, I think people interpret like focus as like hostility.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
like, I'm not even thinking about you, bitch.
Yeah.
Like, I'm
Yeah,
thinking
they're
about
like,
my
"Oh, what's
set. I don't know
wrong?"
who you
Yeah.
are.
Yeah,
But yeah, they take it all personally that you don't want to like. For me, if I don't want to engage with someone, it's probably because like I'm trying to focus on something or conserve energy or both.
Yeah.
So like, I don't
Or
know.
sometimes engaging with that person, you exert a lot of energy that
Yeah,
you would
like,
rather save for the stage
Right,
or
yeah.
after the show,
Right.
But like I remember I was about to go on stage and a comic saw me looking in my notebook. Told him I need to figure out my set list before I go on, and he wouldn't stop talking to me after I told him to stop. He did that same thing, like, oh, it's fine. He could not stop talking to me until
you
the guy
guys think-
brought me up on stage. What?
I mean, not to like get all like gender and sexism and stuff like that too early in the podcast, but do you think this, because I'm like, I don't know if anyone's tried to talk to me that much, and then I'm like, you know what, there's not a lot of women in comedy. I could definitely see like needy dudes or whatever,
Well, guys'
like doing that more to
egos-
women.
They
They're-
feel entitled to your
Yeah.
time to either like talk to you, hit on you, give you advice. Like
Alright.
there were there are people who like when I'm just sitting there and I have like my opinions about things, and then we'll get in a conversation, and then they just like take up so much time like telling me that I'm wrong.
Right.
And it's overwhelming and it's exhausting. I'm like, go argue with this other argumentative dude. Like I don't want to
Right.
deal with you right now.
Yeah. And it's also just not reading, like, they just feel the need, they're compelled to have to do that instead of reading the situation of, like, oh, that's not what's really happening. Or,
There's
you know,
a-
what-
Yeah,
There's
and
a-
I don't know if they feel like they're doing us a favor. They're like, oh, I'm just being nice to you. I'm like, I don't need you to be nice to me. I'm fine. Like, let's just be professional.
Yeah, if you didn't
There's-
ask for it or you
Exactly.
didn't look for it. Yeah.
There's a lot
Exactly.
of time wasted in people playing devil's advocate, and I'm over it. I'm like, I don't want to have this fucking argument with you. A lot of dudes will do that. They'll just like, well, just to play devil's advocate, like, what if I just sat here and argued with you for the 10 minutes before your set? And I'm just like, I don't want to fucking deal with it.
What?
They just want to engage.
Yeah, they just want your. That's what I'm
Wow.
saying. They're entitled to your attention, to
Yeah.
your time, and it's
And
annoying.
That's
it's
a
almo-
young. That's gotta be. Are they older? I feel like that's a
Both.
young
And they
guy.
take-
No,
Really?
it's a range.
And yes, because
Wow.
they're entitled, they take offense when you set a
Dude,
boundary.
that's the worst part when I'm just like, and then like I'm not engaged. They're like, whoa.
like, you're a bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
I've
like-
definitely gotten that before.
So
and
it's-
I'm like, what? Or like, I'll meet them socially. They're like, oh man, I totally thought you were a bitch the other day in the green room. I'm like, what? I'm sorry. We're
Yeah,
working here. We're
right.
working.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah, yeah.
working here. Like,
Exactly.
what did you? What?
It's sort of that thing where, people expect women to smile.
yeah.
It's like you have to deliver with that,
Oh,
otherwise
right.
you're a bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
what's
or,
wrong? Yeah.
Or yeah, so the
Oh,
man will
yeah.
get defensive if I say something to you plain spoken. I mean, like a man.
Right.
As you know.
The last time I didn't smile and this guy was like, what's wrong? I'm like, you go away.
I like that.
One time I was setting up my mic. I was like literally putting out the tech and everything for it. And this guy just like wanted to have like a normal ass conversation with me. I was like running backstage and doing everything. And then he was like upset that I wasn't. And I'm like, dude, I'm setting up the mic that you're about to like perform at. Like, leave me alone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
or
crazy.
offer to help.
Well, you have high
No,
cheekbones.
just leave me
Have
alone.
you ever have you ever experienced anything
No.
like that?
I don't
by
know. Yeah,
accident?
I don't know. I mean, I don't think.
Ooh.
I mean, if that happens to women in comedy from all the needy guys, I don't think there's like any women in comedy doing that to guys, right? I
I'm
mean,
talking about
Can you-
guys who maybe.
Oh, guys do that to me?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Or
No, just kidding.
or can you think of a time where maybe you did something like that to women that you've learned from?
I don't know. I
like
mean, maybe.
like
You know what's hard about that? I was just thinking. I was like, in that situation you're just giving with the microphone. That's like they didn't realize that. They didn't read the situation of like, oh, you're busy. You don't want to be bothered right now. This
Yeah.
isn't the right time for this.
Yeah.
They're like either like, yeah, that you're saying like entitled to it, and they're just like, no, they deserve this interaction, or they're just so oblivious, which it's its own problem.
Did you set a
that-
boundary?
I feel like I was like, I'm just doing this right now. I don't know if it was like super like stop talking to me.
Yeah, sometimes it's hard to just explicitly tell someone to fuck off.
You don't
No,
know the
I'm not
reaction.
saying even like that you needed to. I'm just
Yeah.
saying like they're oblivious to like not going like, oh, okay, this isn't the right time for this, or like they haven't learned that like, oh, this
Yeah.
isn't like, it's not a personal thing. It's not a
Yeah.
thing. It's just you're doing something. Oh, I'll talk to you later, and not do that. So
And aren't comics supposed to read the room? Like, why
Yeah.
is it? So
That wasn't a good comic.
I feel
So-
like
Yeah,
early
he
on
was
in
bombing
comedy-
with her before the show.
Did you? Katie, I'm sure you never did this, but I feel like some people like realize like access to women is like something that comes with comedy. Like I've had so many guys I've just in comedy that I've met maybe once or twice that like just felt entitled to a hug every time they saw me. Or like this one dude would like kiss me on the cheek.
I
both
think I
cheeks.
know.
Whoa.
Oh my
And
god!
And I'm like, dude, I've
I
been
get that.
on one show with you. What? And you like wet kisses?
I think I know
Wet
who
Oh
you're
my
talking
god!
about.
Jeez.
What? Like,
And
what?
it's not uncommon.
It's great.
Really?
Yeah. So now I just
Yeah.
like fist bump or I elbow, like just like the elbow tap with everybody, unless we're like legitimately friends.
I don't
I do
do
like
anything.
I do like a titty twister, but that's it.
That's
For
cool. Yeah.
everyone though.
That's a good starting point. Well, you didn't titty twist me. I'm a
Not
next
yet.
time.
Next time.
Okay. All right.
Oh, we're gonna wait till next time.
Well, it's like first time you don't open with that, but then every other time after that, then
Yeah.
it's like,
Right,
what's up?
right.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to like,
Well, it
unless
seems
we
like
have a
consent's
secret
been made.
handshake already or something, like it doesn't.
I mean,
I don't know.
I just always looked at like, girls, women in comedy is just, they're coworkers, you're like sisters and stuff. So it's like, yeah, don't like encroach someone's space unless they already, if they want to go for the hug, then okay. Then if not, to be honest with you, I feel like the hug thing is kind of relatively new. What do you guys think about that? I feel like when I was in high school, and maybe just because I'm super old, I feel like girls didn't do that. And then somewhere when I was in college or something, girls started being all huggy and stuff. And I was always like uncomfortable with that. Not because I didn't like it, but I was always like, oh, should I initiate that? Is that what I'm supposed to do? If I'm a jerk for
I
not
think-
doing that?
I
Or should I
think-
always wait for them to be the hug, right? I still do that.
I think in high school though, we're all like not aware of what our bodies are supposed to be like
Oh.
and stuff. So maybe in college they started getting comfortable
Oh.
with just touching.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean?
yeah, you're right. It's
Like,
probably just like a
I don't
high
know
school
if
thing.
all,
Yeah, yeah.
like I
didn't
don't want
think
to
about
smell
that.
like Axe and BO like
Yeah.
like most high school dudes.
No, I feel like my high school was a little advanced or something because like I don't know, I got to high school and all of a sudden like everybody was like hugging and kissing and I'm like, whoa,
What?
whoa, what did I miss over the summer? Like I was so confused. But then like nobody was hugging me, so I felt like I like kind of an outcast.
You
I'm
missed
like,
all
what?
the summer orgies.
I guess so. I missed like the pre-high school summer orgy.
Learn about
I
it
have
in
no
health
idea.
class.
I guess so.
What's
I don't
the
know.
miracle of birth?
The
Was that
miracle of
video?
hugs.
The miracle of hugs.
I mean, it is a thing though, because it's like. I
But
can
are you a
understand.
hugger now? Have you gotten
I'll
accustomed
look
to
if someone
hugs?
hugs, I'll hug back. But I'm
Yeah.
not. I'm not initiating hugs with even my guy friends or whatever. It's
But
just
is this
like,
also part of the Japanese culture where you guys just not affectionate in your
It
household?
could be. Yeah, I don't know. Now I
I'm
think
just-
I damn.
That's like 100% a stereotype.
No,
You just gave me
because I
like a
was
whole new
You're
thing
half
to
white
marinate.
too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, just tell us about like growing up.
no, but like
In your background.
I wasn't hugged in my house, so like physical touch is not really my love language, you know. But like,
Man,
I do
maybe
like
for my
other
dad.
things.
Yeah, I mean, my dad was Japanese, so it's like, yeah, maybe I didn't get an affection from him hugging wise. Honestly,
Oh
it's
my
like
God, daddy issues.
I know,
revealed.
right? No,
My-
you know
my
what? The
dad-
hugging thing with just the girls is just more like, hey, like. That's gonna make them feel weird if you're like the guy that, hey, what's up, or like you said, kissing
You're
and
the
on
hugger.
the cheek. Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's just like, don't do that.
I mean, we have a comic
the one
who's
who
like a
hugs.
massager. He's a shoulder massager.
Ew.
Like he'll just
Oh yeah.
I don't like the
We all
second
know.
hand thing. That happens to me because I have like these dainty little like oh, they're doing like a secret thing.
Oh,
like
yeah.
I have these dainty little
I can
hands
see it.
that everyone always makes fun of.
They're
so
not dainty.
well, that's what guys usually say. I don't know.
Compared
the
to
same
Pallavi,
size.
maybe. Yeah, a little bit.
But like, so guys will have these giant hand. Maybe you guys can identify with this. You know, they'll have these giant crushing grips, and then they go like this, and then I'm like, oh hi, and then they'll do the double hand. You know, like they shake your hand, they put the other one, and kind of do that. That feels
Yeah.
really weird when
Emasculating.
it's just
Do you
it's
feel like they're
crushing.
posturing?
I think
Yeah.
they just crushed the shit out of my hand, and I'm like, what are we doing here?
We
Like,
don't shake hands because they hug us. So
Oh,
like
yeah,
I
you
don't
never-
really touch
Oh.
their
That's true.
hands.
Fist bumps are really useful.
Yeah.
I've been fist
yeah,
bumping more.
I've become accustomed to
Or
it.
side hugs.
I
Yeah.
put my arms down sometimes and I'm like, sup.
Yeah,
So like my hands
no.
are like held.
We're not.
I'll
doing
cover
it.
all the good
I
stuff,
smile.
yeah.
So now, you know,
Good
like
stuff, okay.
I know women get offended with like, why don't you smile more? So I'll like purposely smile from like 6 feet away, like, hey, what's up? And then I'll just walk past them. Like that's how I use my smile now, so I don't have to touch anyone.
You got your smile. We're good.
Yes,
okay,
we're
we
good.
don't
I
even-
acknowledged you.
Yeah.
Bye.
You know, I can
Like,
deal with the side hug though. That's
I
way
can't.
better.
Sometimes they get the armpit BO on you when they're side hugging.
Oh
Yeah.
God.
Oh.
Especially if the like height difference.
You know, I know I'm moving up in comedy because lately everyone I've been getting side hugs from in comedy smells like deodorant and laundry. So like I
That's
feel
good.
like it's I'm moving on
You
up. in
tell
the
where you're at,
world.
why what's you're smelling.
Well,
in
I
the
don't
hug.
indiscriminately side hug.
Okay,
So it is, you know, it is like a selective side hug.
got
but
it.
I don't think I've given a full hug to a dude in comedy in a long time.
I have
Unless
people I consider good friends that are males in comedy. I'm willing to admit at this point that I've given hugs to. Oh man.
the miracle of hugs.
Yeah, I mean, roast battle forces you to give hugs to people after the battle's over.
Yeah,
but
I mean, it's like a
that's the-
situational kind
That's
of
the
thing.
only
Yeah,
like full-on hug that
wanted you to
I've
be
given
aware
to comedy
that-
lately.
yeah.
Sorry, it feels
All right.
nice sometimes.
Oh God.
Are weird.
Oh my God.
Okay,
Okay.
so you're not into hugs because your dad didn't hug you as a child.
I
Got
mean, I'm
it.
okay with it. It's just I feel weird initiating a hug or something, unless it's like something I know they always do. Like, hey, it's like okay, like we're gonna do a thing, but
Now, do you exercise this in your like romantic life too? Do you not hug on the first date? Like,
Yeah,
what is your?
do you chest bump? How do you say
I know
goodbye?
you don't pay for things on the first date.
Oh, you
That's a
don't?
comedy clip. That's a
Oh.
viral comedy clip you have, right?
oh, that's right. Yeah, that's my rule. Yeah.
Is it still your rule?
Are you a freegan? What's happening?
A what?
A freegan?
A
Do you just
freegan?
get your food from dumpsters? How do you not
No.
pay anything on a first date? I don't understand, Katie.
Katie.
Katie. Katie.
No, I mean, like we'll split the bill on the first date.
Okay,
or
you'll go
whatever.
halvesies on the frozen yogurt.
Yeah, I mean, I usually I started that a long time ago of just
Does
like.
it depend on like what dollar value it is? Like if it's frozen yogurt, will you pay for the frozen yogurt or like coffee?
He's
or is
looking
it
like
No.
he's saying no.
No,
Okay,
everything. First
okay.
date.
Yeah.
So you split the bill, but do you carry around tampons and pads for
Uh,
women in your life? Because
no.
we have to pay for that all the time.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah.
I suggest all males carry around tampons and pads just for the women in their lives.
All right. I mean, I did think about. I like to be prepared at home, so I mean, I did consider that at one point. Like, should I stock up? But then I was
Yeah.
like, that's weird. Then if a girl comes out, then she's
No,
like,
I think it's thoughtful.
No, but then
I
she's
don't
gonna be
think
like, "Do you have a
some women
girlfriend?"
aren't gonna see it
Really?
as thoughtful. They're
Yeah.
gonna be like,
Put it
"Ooh,
right next to
Yeah, who
tampons."
lives here?
I
Like,
think,
what
yeah.
girl
If
lives
you
here?
put it-
Yeah.
If you
on
put
that
it,
side.
if you put it in like a little display thing, like they have at Westside,
Yeah.
if you put it in a display thing and put like
A sign.
contact solution for people who wear contacts, and then also like I
Yeah.
have a.
How many women do you have running through here?
I have,
I'm just
sun- I have,
imagining what
sun-
that would
I have,
think.
I have
Exactly.
sunscreen for my white friends. It's just all your guests of your household.
Maybe a dispenser. If I had like an official
Like from a
dispenser, you
school
like
or
put in a
something.
quarter, but I'll put a thing of quarters next to it, so it's like, look, you
Actually,
can get it.
this did happen to me once where I was staying at a guy's place and he was like, yeah, whatever. I have sunscreen in the medicine cabinet and there's just like tampons and everything's in there. I'm like, why? Who lives here?
See?
Like,
we have to we have
And
to
he's like-
change the culture.
So
It should be
basically,
freely available.
he said he Airbnbs his place and sometimes like women leave stuff behind. So he just keeps it there for like other Airbnbs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you know what
So-
I would do is I would get
You
a
have an
crazy
explanation.
assortment. I would get an assortment of like maxi pads and
Yeah.
tampons. I'd have every type. So then it's like obvious. Like, no, some
Yeah,
girl
that's
doesn't
like
live
if
here. You wouldn't have 20 million types. So I'm like, I'm
You're
prepared
just
for
being
whoever.
very accommodating
Yeah.
for all the women
should-
that come
Wha-
through your
You should
Exactly,
have like
yeah.
a bathroom attendant, like at a
are
fancy
expensive.
hotel,
Right,
and put
yeah.
out like mints and have her like hand you one tiny slip of towel. It's never enough.
You should
Right.
leave a tip jar in your bathroom.
Yeah.
So
Right.
it could
The
be a
quarters.
self-service.
If
Yeah,
Your
yeah.
attendant's
For the
a
tampon.
woman,
Yeah.
then your girlfriend's gonna be like, "Who's this bitch?" Like
She'll be
it's-
wearing a uniform. She'll be like, "Welcome
Yeah.
to KT's bathroom.
Exactly.
Would you like some of this perfume?"
That's so weird that happens in like the women's restroom. I didn't realize that until.
guys don't
Is that
have
a
an
newer thing?
attendant?
No, they do. I
sometimes
thought it
you
was
do.
more of a guy thing. I didn't realize that in
Yeah.
girls'
Is it
restrooms.
more in New York?
No, I've seen
No,
it in
it's
LA
everywhere.
too.
It's
Yeah.
everywhere.
What type of spots?
It's the fancy
It's
spots.
the fancy places. The fancy
places that I don't go often.
yeah, I was about to say.
You
like
go
the
to
bathrooms.
fancy. You go to Soho House and stuff.
There's
they have
never
a bathroom.
been a bathroom
There's
attendant
a-
in
I
Soho
mean,
House.
I don't know. Maybe you got to go earlier in the day or something.
What? No, it happens at night too, right?
Maybe
Well, we're just talking about Soho House.
I mean,
Damn,
but
you
like,
guys
yeah,
are
I've
fancy.
seen
I've only been there
bathroom
one
attendants,
time.
but,
You guys
like,
are fancy.
I don't like
I'm
not
not
often
fancy.
to like
not.
notice a pattern.
It's interesting because then I just feel like a pressure to tip and like to
Yeah.
take stuff from them.
Yeah, yeah.
And also they like literally never give you enough paper towels.
Yeah.
They're like, and then you're just like, can I have like 6 more?
Yeah.
I really
Yeah.
don't understand that job. Like, why?
It's
I
just
don't
it's a
understand
it's a service feature. It's like being at a fancy hotel and having like bellhops do like whatever the fuck you want.
Okay, but I'm perfectly capable of taking out paper towels.
Yeah,
you
when
know?
they
Yeah,
sort of
but it's
insist
just
on it.
It's
just-
yeah, it's
Well, like
just
a bellhop grabbing your bags before
Yeah.
you're like, "Oh, well, I
Yeah.
got this."
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
And-
that's sort of
Yeah, they're like
invasive.
forcing
Yeah.
the
It
tip.
is invasive. It's like, yeah, in like Indian culture, like the dudes always grab like the bags and stuff from you and like don't allow you to like exert any effort or energy. I don't like that.
I do. We need more
See,
of that
this
in
is
America.
what's confusing sometimes for a guy. That's why I just set the policy straight from the beginning, and then if it works out, then we can figure it out. But like, yeah, you'll have someone where it's like, open the door for me, and then another person's just like, don't fucking open the door for me,
Okay,
and then
who
you're like,
is saying don't open the door for me? Like who
That
are
definitely
these
has happened, for
ladies?
sure.
Okay, all right. To our fans and listeners, if you are a woman who does not like anyone opening the door for you, please slide up in our DMs because I really want to understand the rationale behind this. I don't understand it.
I don't mind having the door opened for me, but I don't like when I hold the door open for someone and they're like, "No, you go in first. You go in. You go in first."
You get a
Because then
fight.
I'm just like, why are you forcing me to
That's-
do your version of
Yeah.
what
Yeah,
you
yeah,
think?
yeah.
So I think like I don't know, people need to chill the fuck
It's
out.
just silly. I feel
Just
like
be
it's
nice
such
to
a
each other.
silly thing to be in like a debate about. Like I don't think it's like feminism.
Well,
For me, like me being offended that a man is opening a door for me. Like if it's one less public thing I have to touch, great.
Yeah.
well, yeah,
why
maybe
not?
like
But then he's
women,
expecting you to touch his private things later.
No, absolutely
Oh,
not.
yeah.
No.
Yo, I
I'll
opened that
hold-
door.
I'll hold the door open for the dude behind me if
Yeah.
there's a
Yeah,
guy
I do
coming.
that all the time.
And that'd be
Yeah.
weird if he was
But
like,
I've
"Well, no,
had
I won't."
I've had people do that. I've had dudes be like, "No, don't. You go, you." Or like, if I want to split
Just
the
getting
bill,
into a thing.
yeah. If I want to split the bill, they're like, "No, I'm paying," and I'm like, "Well, then you're not listening to me anyways."
Yeah.
Oh.
That's yeah.
Wait, yeah, what are your guys' opinions
I like
on that?
splitting.
You like splitting?
I like
For
it-
all of it, or just the first one, or first couple, or whatever?
Until you're like in a serious thing, but I've also like not necessarily held to that depending on like what the mood is or whatever.
Sure.
Like sometimes one person pays, the next time the other person pays. So
Yeah.
like general splitting.
Yeah. I mean, if someone wants to give me something without expectations, like if you hold the door and it's not because you're trying to fuck, like you don't know.
How do you tell?
I don't know.
held
You
the
don't
door
know.
for this girl. She didn't want to fuck me,
Yeah,
bro.
that's what I'm saying, though. That's how these guys are
What
out
a
here.
bitch, What's up with
dude.
that?
Or
Pretty
buy,
crazy.
pay for dinner. I'll always I was at 7-Eleven the other day. I thought of you and I thought of you too. I was carrying
That's
a bunch
racist,
of snacks.
You thought of it at 7-Eleven.
racist.
I thought of you.
I can't remember which one of you I thought.
Or what is it? Like, there's 4 more, right? So I was.
You thought of every brown woman you know at
Yeah.
7-Eleven.
I do
Thank
every
you.
time.
I thought I was about to die. I'm like, am I watching the end of my life? Like, what's going on? Why am I looking at every
Wait, you
single person?
almost
Is this me when I'm
died?
older?
You almost died at
No, no, no.
7-Eleven?
No, I was
He's
carrying a
talking.
shit ton of snacks. Just put 2 and 2 together, and a guy comes up to me, an older gentleman, sort of skeezy, and he's like, "You want me to buy that for you?" And I'm like,
What?
"Sure." And then I thought of both of you, and
Oh my
I thought
God.
you'd have that response.
Yeah.
Following
Oh my
it.
God.
And Zara, I thought you'd be proud of me.
Well,
Whoa, that's
if the
interesting.
guy was hot, but it doesn't seem like
No, it
he
wasn't
Ah.
hot, but I didn't want. It
Exactly.
was no expectation. He paid for my overpriced West Hollywood snacks.
Okay.
I guess that's
It was a
smart.
gift.
Well, okay, here's the thing.
But
I
did he exchange numbers or anything after that?
No,
Were you?
he was way older than me. He was like a grandpa.
Oh, okay.
I mean, like when he saw me in my car just getting settled. So then, like, I put my window down a little bit. Oh, and he did try to get my number.
see.
Ah.
But I told him, he's like, "Where do you live?" I'm like, "With my parents." I had the pigtails on, and then he left me alone. He's like, "You be safe."
That's so smart.
He said you be
I will
safe.
say I
Wow.
do think like when I think it's fine if other women like want to get shit like that because I'm
Yeah.
like because we pay for like tampons and pads and Ubers at night because
Okay.
we can't
Pink
walk
tax,
the
the
pink
pink
tax.
tax.
Like we pay for so much and healthcare and everything and it's so fucking expensive and like dudes and we get paid less and whatever. So I think it's like yeah, ladies, get yours where you can get yours. Like I
Yeah.
don't care. But for me, like when I'm in those situations, I'm like I'ma do me. You stay the fuck away from me.
Well, oftentimes
Yeah.
there's an expectation.
because of the expectations
Yeah.
and because of how
Yeah,
I
there
know
are
they
dudes that think that means some kind of transaction, like is owed or something like that. That's
But
why
Or
it's
even
like-
just like the abstract idea of it just bothers me.
Well,
Yeah.
also, I've had dudes like the expectation thing, but it's like I've had dudes like be offended that I didn't invite them over after a first date of like $4 frozen yogurt. You know, and I'm like, what? I'm sorry. Do I look like I would be bought over with $4 frozen yogurt? Like, what do you think is happening here? You know,
What
But
is the number? Is $16 yogurt or like where do we gotta?
I mean,
like, what is the
it
number
would,
for
it would
that?
have to be premium frozen yogurt, you know? Like it would I mean, for me to like give it up for frozen yogurt, that would have to be like some golden
Yeah, get all the toppings.
some like fairy dust in there, you
Yeah.
know, like I wouldn't give it up for frozen yogurt, first of all,
Wait,
but like
wait, now we're getting in the territory of what would you give it up for?
no, but it's also like
How much would you suck a dick for though? Like $1 million?
like
2
if you're
million?
if you're a
2
Saudi
million.
prince and you need a
Like
third
those
wife,
dudes
sure,
after
I'll do it.
10,000.
But like
No,
there's one
that's an
Business price.
10,000. 10,000.
That's not bad.
Dang.
That's not bad.
But I'd be very
honestly.
Would you suck a
selective.
dick for
Exactly.
10,000?
No, it's got to be like
50,000.
probably like 100 million.
I do it for 100 million too.
No.
Wow, that's like
That's
on
a lot
one
of
entire
money.
end of the Kinsey.
Well, like, because
bet
I mean,
you
look,
Sippin'.
who has $100 million they can give? It's like you're shrinking the
Saudi
amount of
princes.
people.
Saudi
who-
princess, the
Yeah.
Sheikh of Qatar. Seriously.
Jeff Bezos
Oh.
and
Yeah.
his ex-wife.
Yeah, exactly.
The
I'd suck
Sheikh
Jeff,
of
Jeff
Qatar,
Bezos'
actually,
ex-wife's dick. Yeah.
Fun fact: Sheikh of Qatar just built the most expensive house in Los Angeles.
How much is that?
I don't even know. I can't.
Okay,
I can't
I gotta
tell
raise
you.
my
You know how
number
many
then.
I
I
can't
need to.
tell
suck
you,
just to
but-
get that information.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I gotta raise
You
my
gotta
number.
know,
Then.
I can't-
I'm
I
at
can't tell you.
100 billion. Then how about no one has 100 billion, right?
What
So
do
the
you
first
want?
the
You
first
can't be
person to
bought.
100 billion, I'll
So
suck
you're
their
never
dick.
gonna suck a dick?
You just can't.
I
buy
got-
it,
You're not
$100
even-
billion? Really?
I
You're
just
not
said
even curious about what
Because
a
it's gonna
dick
go
tastes
up with
like?
inflation. He's just gonna like.
But-
Yeah.
Basically, you're not gonna suck a dick.
I
Honestly,
mean, I
what
think
if-
not.
Say
What if
USD,
comedy-
it could be like
okay.
pesos?
Right.
Hold on.
That's true.
What if comedy doesn't pan out at
Yeah.
this point? You know, you've been doing this for like what, almost 2 decades.
Tell him that.
You
It's
know,
pretty close. Okay,
What-
you're right.
What if like somebody Harvey Weinstein you know, and they're
Yeah.
like, KT, we love your sitcom. We love this pilot. We love it.
Why do I feel like this person's going to come out the back of the room? Is that why Loey's here already?
Yeah. We love it. We're going to sign you up for 5 seasons. We're going to sign you up for 5 seasons of your own sitcom.
5?
5 seasons. If you suck my dick, will you do it?
Would you casting couch?
5 seasons.
Why are you saying 5? It's got to be at least 10. I mean, come on now.
I mean, 5 seasons.
Okay,
These are high
he's starting to
10
soften.
seasons. Okay, 10
That's
seasons.
not even equivalent to $100 billion.
That's not $100 billion.
That, right? Like you should have just gone for the $100 billion.
Yeah.
10 seasons is not that.
What is this? You guys are trying to trick me
you
with
could
this
just
funny
want it
math.
to
You can
every
just say no.
Dude group.
Yeah.
You could just say no. You could walk away from 5 seasons.
Nah, he's got a little. He's got a little.
If I was
opening.
getting $100 billion
I just don't know many people
and
in
the 5
entertainment who would.
seasons,
If you
then,
have $100
yeah.
billion, you're gonna have the 5. You can buy a fucking channel, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Exactly.
Yeah, I could be the guy, the
right.
producer.
You know,
All right.
those 5 seasons could parlay into sponsorships, like all these other things. You don't know that.
What? This is like,
just
are you the
want you to-
broker for like?
we just brought this dick out here.
I know,
for you.
right? I know. I'm
want
like,
you-
who is here? Whose dick am I gonna suck tonight? I didn't realize.
We're trying to make this easy on you, soft.
We're trying to YouTube every
Right.
day in
Okay,
comedy.
these are serious things I've considered before in my life. Not like, but these are the options that like women had for a long time.
I like how
you know?
I have these options, but I've sucked dick for like negative money, like given my exes.
That's
Right,
most
you had to drive
women.
them
I
home.
know.
You know,
Anyways.
that's what I'm saying. Women are willing to suck dick for a lot less, okay? That's
Yeah.
what we're saying. So if you want to pay for the frozen yogurt on the first date, I'm not going to be mad. I'm not going to be
Yeah.
all feminist about it.
Well, I mean, yeah, I'm just not trying to put an expectation on either end. It's like, hey, I'm not trying to say like I'm paying because I don't want you thinking that that means I'm expecting anything. So,
But
I
is
don't
it
know.
a hard
You
and
should
fast
pay-
rule? What if the girl's like, you're really into her?
Yeah.
What if you're like, this is the woman who's going to have my baby?
Would you make an exception?
On the first date, you know she's gonna have your baby.
I
Well,
don't
if
Yeah.
know.
you're
It
really
could
into
happen.
someone, because I've been on a date where someone told me do not pay, and I was like, yeah, I mean, I wasn't going to, but
That's again.
Oh.
We both have this where I'm like, ooh, I'll pay.
yeah,
Yeah.
but I mean, I like when a guy pays, but
I like when a
prefer-
guy-
I think I
I
don't
like-
like the expectation of then I have to pay. It's almost like a reverse thing of like, oh, now you only like me if I pay, and if I don't pay, now you
and
don't
that's
like me
true.
or whatever.
That's
so.
100% true.
All right.
I don't feel an entitlement to it. I just enjoy it.
Sure.
So if a guy wants to do that, I appreciate it, and I notice
Sure.
it, and I take that into account.
yeah.
Oh,
But-
shit, into account.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I don't want a man's currency. I want his emotional currency.
No, I want his
Well,
currency.
Try
too.
finding that in LA.
I know.
It's just
That's
settle
what
for
I'm
what you
saying.
get.
That's
I
why
want
I'm
all the
single as
currency. I want emotional and physical currency. Why not? Like I don't know. Because I'm in a relationship and like we'll go halvesies. Sometimes I'll pay, sometimes he'll pay. But like yeah, there were a few dates in the beginning where I don't know, he's used to like his mom like, being the boss and everything. Like his mom was like the breadwinner for
Makes
a long
so much
time.
Yeah.
So he was like, like, I think around our like second or third date, like he would kind of like let the bill linger, and I'd be like, all right, like let's split it, because I didn't want to like get into the like the expectation of
Yeah.
him paying, because I knew that was something that he was testing me on, and I was testing him on. So I'm like,
Yeah.
all right,
Oh.
let's not play this game, and we'll go halvesies until you realize this is something that's important to me.
Until
So-
you that's like every relationship. Like the
Yeah.
girl's just like, you'll figure it out, and the guy's like, I have no idea.
I mean, he figured it out eventually, but
You know,
yeah, it
actually-
is something. It was a point of contention for a little while.
I called you because like when I was dating someone, it switched to like where he asked if I could like go halvesies on something, and I didn't know like.
See, that's weird. That's like throwing that in at some point after the guy's been
That's
paying for a
poor
bunch of time.
planning.
Then
Yeah.
that's like awkward as shit.
And then I kind of called it out, and then there was a scaling back, but I was really confused.
She
I
was
like,
offended. She called me. She's like, "What just happened?"
I was like, is this? But then you told me the halvesies, and then I'm like, well, millennials,
Is that a
Apparently
millennial?
But
that's what
also, we're all
millennials do.
fucking broke, dude. Like
Yeah.
everybody's. I feel
Yeah.
like if you're on the same level, especially like it should be more splitsies.
Yeah.
But if like one person is making like way more and it means less to them to like pay, then like I'm more okay with it.
So like I was offended, but I knew like sort of from a broader perspective, like this is my reaction. That's why I called you, because I was like, okay, like what's your take on this? I'm curious. You know, like, is this acceptable? Or am I like, is this a serial killer?
I like how you didn't call me because I would have been like, pay for your half, bitch.
Yeah. I'm trying to hear that. You're not like, I'm trying to go to.
It's a very sensitive like thing for a lot of people.
But you didn't shit on him though.
No.
You didn't shit on him.
No, because he's it's LA. It's a very expensive city. So after you're wooing a woman for a month or two or whatever, like if he like is open and honest with you about it, like, hey, let's, can you start helping out a little bit?
Right,
Like I wouldn't be offended about that. I would be more like, I would be surprised, but I would also try to show some compassion because.
See, I didn't in the moment. I didn't have the capacity to show the compassion I would have wanted to. I said some I said some I sort of said something maybe like flippant, like, "Oh, is that what we're doing now?" or something.
Yeah.
Like it was passive aggressive.
But then what happened the next time?
Like,
there wasn't a next time.
No, he did actually say.
Was that the beginning of the end?
da-da-da.
No,
Oh.
that wasn't the beginning of the end.
What?
No, I just but he would clarify. He clarified in the future, like, "Oh, let's go here. It's my treat." So he would.
That's good.
I
That's
think,
I feel like
clarifying.
everybody wants to be Little Spoon sometimes. Guys want to be Little Spoon too, financially and otherwise.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not opposed to it. I just didn't expect it, and I don't have a lot of I don't know what healthy dating is. So I was
of
like,
us
is
don't.
this?
Oh, are we
No
only
one
supposed
taught
to
me.
comment if we know what else they did?
us
Because I'm
don't.
off of this podcast.
I mean,
Somehow.
then we don't have a podcast. This is the wrong damn podcast. If that's
Actually,
the
it would be Zara just talking about her boyfriend and their year and a half long relationship.
2 years.
2 years.
Yeah.
Damn.
But I mean, I was single for
You're
a
not
long
old
time
enough to have
before
a
that.
2-year relationship.
Whatever.
Yeah, you're
I mean,
15, Zara. What the fuck?
sure. I was single for 5-6 years, but
Yeah.
you, KT, you were
Yeah.
single for a decade on
Long
purpose.
time. Yeah, over that. Yeah, no, I've had a girlfriend now for 3 years, a little over 3 years. But yeah, I was single probably for 13 years, something like
Was
that.
it because of
Not even-
comedy or just because you were?
I just didn't
you
wanna be in a
weren't paying
relationship.
for first dates.
That's literally what every single dude within 3 miles says.
Yeah.
I just don't want a girlfriend right now.
Well, were you dating? 'Cause
Yeah,
you
no,
can
I was
still date,
dating. Yeah, but I mean, I was
yeah.
traveling a lot, and you're just trying to get yourself, career going and stuff, and so.
You just didn't commit to
Yeah.
a person in those 13 years.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't lie.
10.
I wasn't
10.
leading anybody on.
Was it
10?
10?
It was over. That was
Oh, really?
probably 13 years,
13.
12 years,
wow.
something
Okay.
like that. Yeah.
My bad.
I mean, I would date. It wasn't. It's just never a serious committed thing. So I'd be dating somebody for a couple months. Something. It wasn't boyfriend, girlfriend, serious.
So why did it end? When it just felt like it was gonna get serious, and you're like, oh, I can't. I'm not.
I mean, I
I'm
guess I was
not
older.
ready.
I don't know. I got to 35. You just kind of get tired. I think. Of,
That's what you have to do. Is you wait till these
You just
fuckers
wear
get
these
tired.
bitches
Yeah.
down
But it's
like a fucking lion with an antelope. You just
It's like
shake them down.
we can't date anyone our own age.
No,
I'm
we
tired,
can't.
and
You
I
gotta
don't want
date
old
someone
dick.
older.
Yeah.
I want some young dick. That's what I want.
Well, that's what you're gonna get. You're gonna get young dicks, basically. That's it. That's all you're gonna get.
I'm
And
fine
maybe
with that.
herpes. Maybe herpes. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Some Coachella guy.
I feel like I'm not gonna fuck anyone successful enough that has herpes. I feel like in LA, it's travels in the elite circles.
You'll get there.
Thanks.
You
Just,
I believe
that's
so
where the
much.
deodorant smell comes in. You can check to see where they're at.
Oh my god.
You guys are fun.
All right, we have questions we should wrap up on.
Yeah.
probably.
Yeah.
This
This
was
is
fun, though.
super fun.
We didn't even ask him about his credits or how I met your mother.
No,
or,
he's
Oh, yeah.
famous.
anything.
All my credits are expired at this point. I'm back
What do you
to
mean
clubs and
expired?
colleges.
This
That's
isn't
what I'm
college.
Yeah.
Your
What do you
credits
mean?
No,
don't
it
expire.
ran out. Yeah.
What do
I
you
mean, if someone's like, "Oh, I was on Premium Blend on MTV,"
I
it's
will
like,
hold
Yeah.
on to that for 20 years.
I mean, honestly, How I Met Your Mother is one of the best shows
That was pretty cool.
of our generation.
Yeah, I was on an episode of that in 2009, I think.
Did you get to work
I'm old.
with Neil Patrick Harris?
Yeah,
and
yeah. I mean, I had a
the
couple
whole crew?
scenes, had some lines. I mean, it was like a guest star, whatever role, co-star, guest star, and
invited to Just for Laughs 5 times.
that's
the
right.
fuck?
5 times?
Yeah.
So you were
Damn.
invited. Does that mean you
Oh,
didn't
so
go
like
I
all 5
performed-
times?
Yeah,
You performed
yeah,
5
I
times?
did. Yeah, I've done the festival 5
So you're
times. yeah.
funny.
No, I mean,
I haven't seen you
Oh,
perform.
so
He's
now you
effing-
like old dick?
Oh,
Okay.
no.
I was
I would suck it for $100 billion.
Old dick in young dick's clothing.
like, and
Oh, that's
cheekbones.
Oh my
true.
goodness.
That's great.
So 5 times.
Yeah.
That is a prestigious honor.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Yeah,
You're
I did
like
New
comedy
Faces
king
and
right
all
now.
that. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's been a while. That was like I haven't been to the festival in like 8 years or something like that. So
You
I gotta
put in your time.
Yeah, I gotta get back in. I don't know.
It's all right. You got old. You found a relationship. It happens.
It's true. I got
You
old.
found
I got
love.
weak.
You found
I started
love.
paying
Slowed
for
the fuck
shit.
down.
You started pay. Oh, now you pay for things.
No, actually, I mean,
Does she have a real
I didn't break
job?
that rule. No, I mean, every now and then, but yeah, no, we still split stuff pretty much most of
Would
the
you
time.
split an abortion?
Yeah, how much is it going for these days? I don't know. I might have to.
$500.
Yeah.
I'm
my
sure there's a
goodness.
sliding
Yeah.
scale.
I don't know. Yeah.
I feel like I'd split an abortion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You go halvesies on the
I
abortion.
think that, yeah.
On the yeah.
Help on.
What do you
Help
put
on
on
that?
that? What do you put on that Venmo or that PayPal?
I would put a baby thing and then the skull thing.
Oh my gosh.
That's
Just put
For
a
the
thumbs
world
up.
to see. Got it.
Anyways, if you want to direct your hate mail to KT's address.
That's right. Yeah.
All right, we should ask the last couple questions.
yeah.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Who is your favorite South Asian celebrity?
Favorite South Asian celebrity? I didn't realize I had to answer for that. I don't know if I
Oh,
know.
you didn't watch the full podcast
Yeah.
then.
Really? I didn't see anyone
You
answer that
didn't
question.
do your homework.
Well,
I did. I
You
watched the last
half-assed the
couple
homework.
podcasts.
I
Did
don't-
everyone
I don't
get
blame
asked
him
that?
for long
No, not
enough
every
melting.
time. But
Yeah.
like, I think we mostly do it.
Or
but-
actually, we could have
a big
like, who's
commitment.
your favorite Asian celebrity in general? Because
Ooh.
we met at the Woke Asians show. We met again at the Woke Asian
Yeah.
show yesterday.
You know who I like? I went as Halloween is the guy that played in Dexter, like Vince
Oh,
Masuka. Is
yeah.
it C.S. Lee? I think his name is, right? Or
Oh,
something.
he's really funny.
Yeah, he's funny. I went as him as Halloween like 1 year. So I put on a bald cap and the glasses and thing or whatever.
that's fun.
I thought he was really funny, and everyone says he's really cool. So yeah, I like him. Plus, like I'm starting to lose my hair. My hair's starting to thin out. So if I have to shave my head, I'm
You
like
post
I like
about
that guy.
on Instagram a lot.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
That's
Why
like
you-
a,
You're
no,
like,
it's just like-
it's a problem.
no, it's
I'm
not a
just
problem. It's
preparing
just
everybody.
like-
I'm just letting everyone know because I don't want to be that guy who it's just like, does he know that his hair is like it's time to let it go?
But I don't
so I'm just
see
like,
it
hey guys,
thinning.
People that are
it
like
is.
holding
We
on
can
for
look
too
at,
long.
Look at the back. It's getting.
Oh,
I need to
you
put
got
on a
time.
Jewish yarmulke thing
You
right
got
there.
time. You're
I got
fine.
time. It's been thinning out for
You
a
got
long time
time.
though. It's
Are
fine.
you
Balding
are you on
update.
the
There you go.
regimen? Are you taking like Propecia
Every
pills
other
and all
No.
that stuff?
I did when I was younger, when I was like 27, but then I stopped taking it. So I'm just like, fuck it at this point.
You're just
Let it happen.
embracing. You're
Yeah.
embracing your
Take some
age.
vitamins.
You're
You really
aging
want me to
gracefully.
do something about it. You're like, can
Well,
you?
no, I just
please?
want you to know there's options. You know, you don't have to be resigned
Yeah.
to something. You know, where there's a will, there's a way. Biotin is a good
I'll take
supplement.
I've been looking into vitamins. I mean, I've been keeping tabs on the hair industry.
But if you
There's some
don't
other
care,
stuff.
if you just want to embrace it, you know.
Well, I don't want to go like
Embrace
I'm
the
saying like
process.
super
I do
medical
feel
with
like
it.
you
yeah.
have a nicely shaped head. So if you decided to go
yeah.
all bald, I think it would be a good look for you.
Someone was saying that the other night, so maybe I don't know.
Try it out.
All right.
out.
I'm just trying to, you know what? I'm just trying to laugh at it because then for other people that are losing their hair, it's like, hey, it's funny. You can, you know, it's not a big deal. Make jokes.
Yeah.
Yeah, Stone Cold Steve Austin, if you're out there. It's all right.
I
Get your
think I gotta
balls.
lift weights more. You gotta have you gotta be more buff if you shave your head. Maybe that's what it is.
So your muscles match your head.
Otherwise, you look like your white side. It'll just be.
It just, I don't know. It just looks sad. Like, look at this little scrawny Asian guy.
Oh yeah, like sort of like you're sick or something.
Yeah, I don't know. Like people just don't know. They're like, what's going on with that? Because I can't grow facial. Mostly like dudes shave their head, then they grow out the beard.
Oh,
It
yeah.
distracts.
Yeah.
I barely have any mustache hair. So
Do you think you're ever gonna get any?
I don't know. Maybe I should try the Rogaine on that. I need to get that.
Oh,
on
I know
there.
someone putting Rogaine on their face and
See?
it's working.
What?
Really?
Yeah,
Ooh.
my friend. Well, one of my friends, his sideburns never touched his chin hair.
Uh-huh.
So like there was always a big gap. So like it's connecting. It's like turning back into Pangea. It's
Oh.
like all one.
Pangea.
Yeah. It's
Pangea in the
just-
face. Cool. Oh, actually, I do want to ask you a question on. Normally, we ask our guests if they have any dumb questions for us about our culture, because no question's dumb. It's a safe space. here.
Okay.
But
Maybe we can ask
Yeah,
him if
that's-
he gets
yeah,
questions.
do
about
you
his-
get any
yeah.
dumb questions about your
Yeah.
heritage?
Well, I mean, I don't know too much about it because I grew up mostly with my white side, in Virginia is where I'm from. My dad's the Japanese one, but he was always at work, like typical, Asian workaholic Japanese father.
Yeah.
So my Japanese information is very limited through him. So like people would ask me questions and I'm just like, shit, I don't know. Especially when I was in Virginia, like, hey man, I'm like, you see me every day at school. What do you think I know that you don't know? Like, we're doing all the same shit. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not in some secret Asian society. So I don't really have, every time someone would ask me that question, I'd be like, the joke was always like, oh, is that your dad? I never met your dad. I'd be like, yeah, me too. You know, because like, he was like never home. So I really more have awkward questions with someone else who was Japanese, and then stuff that I learned from my dad, like eating habits or something. Then they'd be like, dude, what are you doing? Like that. And then I go, oh, but I'm thinking, oh, that's what Japanese people do. That's my dad doing. They go, dude, your dad was weird. Like, that's not the way to do shit,
have
you know?
that shit too. Like, I can't tell if it's like an Indian thing or just my parents.
Yeah,
like, it's
yeah.
very hard to differentiate.
Yeah, like
sometimes.
if they like to put certain sauces or whatever on some shit that's not really the traditional way, but they liked it. And I'm like, oh, that's Japanese. And everyone's like, no, dude,
We're
nobody
all, like,
does that.
racist against our parents.
So you found
all
out
do.
as a grown-up that your dad's a weirdo?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I got older. I was just like, oh, he was the only one doing that. He usually, like, a lot of wasabi, like, in the soy sauce and stuff, like, super high. You just put a ton or something in there and like, a lot of soy sauce. And usually you don't use a lot, like, in sushi, you know? So I would do that as a kid and be like, what? This is the way to do it, bro.
Interesting. All right. Well, transition to the
Like,
end.
good story.
Cool. Where can we find you?
At KT Tatara on Instagram for all my balding pictures. And yeah, man, I need an Instagram consultant or whatever. Fizza really didn't like that. She's like, you post that a little too, like, come up with another bit, okay?
You do sound like that.
I didn't
Fizza.
say. I didn't
You
say
did.
that.
You were
I
totally
I
judging
didn't
his
say
hair
that.
loss.
That is speculation. I mean, maybe there was a tone and it was interpreted a certain way, but
You have
there's
so much
plausible
more to offer.
deniability.
You have so much more to offer than your hair loss.
I
You are not
should.
your hair loss, okay? You are
Yeah,
more
you're-
than
oh,
that.
thank you.
know, I don't want to affect your creative process. You know, like that's. I would feel really, like
You're
I don't
gonna see
want
him
to.
with like wigs on Instagram now, and you're like,
Yeah.
no, you've changed, man.
Yeah, I will never post about it again.
No, but I never said that.
Oh my goodness.
His
Can we
career
go wig
ends.
shopping?
Yeah.
This is like one of my new
Oh, I
favorite
have
things
some-
to do.
oh, I'll show you
I
some.
How
love
often
going
do you
wig
go wig
shopping.
shopping?
It's so fun. I've only gotten maybe like 3 wigs in the course of the past 4 years, but I do enjoy like.
Oh no, I
trying
have
on a lot
4
of
wigs I got for a sketch that I never filmed, but it was me like as an Asian boy band parody.
Oh,
and
that's
so
so
I have and I got
fun.
them cut and stuff like that, so I look like all the boy band members and
BTS.
stuff
Oh,
like that. Yeah.
all of them.
Yeah,
Oh,
because
that's
you gotta have the
hilarious.
blonde one and the
fun.
red one and
Yeah.
the orange one. You know.
And then the, like the slightly longer.
Wait, are you ever
Yeah.
gonna film this?
I
This
don't know.
sounds
You know
like
what?
it'd be
I
dope.
pitched it to somebody, and then they stole my idea and did it with a bunch of other Asians. So I was like, I'm kind of butthurt about that, to be honest with you. I was like, because now it looks like
Names.
I'm not gonna say, but it's gonna look like I'm copying them. You know what I
Oh,
mean? So I'm
yeah.
like,
God.
even though I have a whole song made and everything.
We'll,
All right.
we'll figure out.
Tell us offline.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so KT Tatara on Instagram.
Yeah.
Is there anything else coming up that you're excited about?
Not really. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
Anything already out there that you want people to go find?
I just need to get my Instagram following. You know what? I was at 10,000. I was happy about that, and then it dropped like 200, and I think it's because of the hair pictures. You're right. So I need to get that back up and
So
stop
it's like
posting the hair pictures.
9.8K right now.
Yeah, it's
You
better.
gotta start posting more thoughty pictures.
Yeah.
What are I don't know.
Hold up.
Maybe it's just I'm bad at
Start
Instagram.
doing some squats. Start doing some squats
I know-
or like
Workout.
workout
Instagram's
photos.
the fantasy. So if you want to,
Yeah.
you know, if you
Yeah.
want to, you got to show them all the hair you have. And it's not like it's
Oh,
the
I
half
see.
full, half empty thing. Like, look at all the hair I have versus not like
Yeah.
versus look at all the hair I don't have.
Twitter's where you
know?
go to talk about the hair you don't have.
Okay.
Yeah.
I hate
Instagram's where you
Twitter.
talk about the hair you have.
Yeah. All
All
right.
right. Cool. Thank you for being here.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
We're Facial Recognition Comedy on Instagram and Facebook, and Facial Rec Comedy on Twitter. We're also facialrecognitioncomedy.com, where you can find everything, including our upcoming events, which are the second Sunday of every month at Westside Comedy Theater. And we're also going to New York Comedy Club, Gramercy location, May 31st, 11:30 p.m. And we're also going to the Irvine Improv, July 23rd at 8 p.m.
Woo!
I'm Paula Viganalin. That's PALLAVIGUNALAN on everything.
Everything. And I don't know why I said that. I'm Fizza Dasani at Fizza Dasani on everything. FIZAADOSANI.
And I'm really Zara on everything. Zara is spelled ZAHRA.
Yay!
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, KT.
Can you close us out? Can you give us like some words of wisdom or just last final thoughts?
For the podcast or for you guys?
Yeah,
For-
podcast.
You know, thanks for listening to the Facial Recognition Comedy Podcast, everybody. I hope that you find your blessed center